Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be an important video to do with maintaining and cleaning your Nitro air filter. So I have 3 of my Nitro vehicles out here. This is a Traxxas Rustler 2.5. This is an HPI Nitro RS43 Drift. And this is an Exceed Nitro Monster Rally. I've ran these cars for a pretty long time. This is my newest acquisition here. This one I've had for multiple years, and this Exceed I've probably put 2 to 3 gallons of fuel through it. And you know what? They all still run perfectly. Now I can actually speak about these. I've maintained the air filter systems in them for a long time. And let's start with why you need to actually oil your air filter. So here I have regular Habaco afterrun oil. This is about $3. And you have some of the factory Traxxas air filter oil. Now I'm out of here, low on this one, but you know what? This is what it looked like. So you have a really small amount. This is enough to oil the filter multiple times, but you should really pick yourself up some of this. I use this not only as after-run oil to keep the engine rust-free and maintained in between long run times, but also really good to use as regular air filter oil. Some people use motor oil, but I don't really see the purpose of that. You can if you wanted to. WD-40 is just a little bit too thin. If you spray this on the air filter, it's just a little thin. So this oil has a good viscosity and consistency to trap dust particles. That is the main purpose here. So you know what? For demonstration purposes, let's start off with this Nitro Rally Monster. It has a relatively simple air filter design. This is all it is. And guess what? It is a dual stage design. So if I take out the top element here, you could tell on the bottom it is clean. On the top side here, you have a lot of trapped dust and dirt. Normally what I would do is now wash it at this stage and re-oil it. Now I will be doing this in a little bit, but let's just take a look at some of the, reasons for why I do this and why you should also do it to keep your Nitro cars running a long time. So the first step when you're trying to oil the filter and clean it is you want to make sure you don't have too much dirt around the throttle, around the car body itself. What you can do is use a little bit of a duster to spray off any loose sand if you have any. This RC is fairly clean, so I could just pull this right off. Let me pull this off. There we go. Okay, so this is the filter. As I mentioned before, this is a dual layer type design. So you take out the first element, and you could also take out the second element. Notice how clean this second element is. That is because the first element with the oil trapped almost all of the dust that would have eventually seeped its way through this fine foam element here. On the underside, look at that. This is basically the cleanest part of it before it goes into the carburetor. Very clean. That is what you want to see. You don't have to clean this one and re-oil it. Mine is still pretty oily, and I can actually tell, like, look how oily my fingers are after it. They're pretty oily. So all I'll have to do is just wash this one with soap. I'm going to do that now, and then we will oil it and put it back onto the RC itself. So I have washed the filter with soap. I have dried it. It looks substantially cleaner. Look at that. Make sure that the foam is still in good shape. It is not disintegrating. This one is a little bit on the, soon to be dead part, but it looks to be okay. All right, then we're going to take our after-run oil, put a couple of drops. I like to put them in a sort of a pattern this way, maybe about 8 drops. Maybe 10, depending on how well you count. All right, then put it into a regular Ziploc bag. You could use any plastic bag. This is a good way to kind of get the oil moving around in there. You'll see what happens. So just squish it around the bag like this. That will get the oil to evenly disperse itself throughout the filter. And you're basically done. At this point, you could simply just reinsert it back into the air filter like that, and you're done. So now I've just basically cleaned, washed the air filter, and you're good to go for pretty much until you can see a clear layer of visible dirt on top. Depending on your running conditions, that will make a big difference on how often you should do this. Okay, so this one is done. Let me put it to the side. Now, there are other types of air filters. This is a more complicated Traxxas air filter. Once again, when you remove this, you want to clean around the carburetor neck. But this one is clean. I don't really run in sand a lot, so we'll remove it like this. The top part here has a mesh cover to prevent larger dust particles and dust and dirt from going in. So I'm not going to mess with the top here. The bottom portion can simply be undone like this. it comes out as a two-piece air filter design. This is one of the better filters that I've seen from a ready to run. This has a larger single-piece foam element. So you could tell I took it out. Now pretty much you could see through this filter. This is relatively clean, and you could tell the actual volume of the filter is clean. There's no dirt going on the inside. This filter is already oiled. That's why it has a little bit of a reddish hue from the after-run oil. So this one I am not going to re-oil. I am just going to put it back. This was just for demonstration purposes. Okay, the last filter we're going to talk about is this HBI filter. So this has an outer cover itself. It is also a dual stage filter. You can unscrew this top screw here and it will disassemble and come apart. This, as you can tell, if I pull back the outside dust screen, the filter inside is oiled. It has a factory blue type oil and it looks good for now. So I am not going to do anything with this one, but you guys get the point of why you should be doing this. This will drastically extend the runtime and the lifetime of your engine. Now, typically about 1.5 gallons in a small nitro engine, and you will start to see compression loss. I've done, maybe 3 gallons in some of the lowest rated RCs. By lowest, I mean off-brand, where the motors were not the best build quality. And you know what? I've still maintained compression up to 3 to 4 gallons just by doing this. Of course, you also want to make sure that no other dirt gets into the carburetor when you have the filter out, and you also want to make sure to wash pretty much every part of the filter that you can, depending on the running conditions that you're at. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to comment down below. I always do my best to answer everybody. Thanks.